YouTube. Just thought I'd make a video. It's been a while since I've got the Nest thermostat, you know, the automated thermostat for my house. I've had plenty of time to use it now and play with it and check it out and you know, I think I know it well enough to kind of give you guys a final opinion of it. Now, I had to wait because, you know, there's a certain period of time that the thermostat has to learn from your normal behavior and things of that nature. And this isn't you know, so much of a review as it is just another guy's opinion, just a regular guy's opinion, not being paid or anything like that. So I bought it for myself, and so this is just me telling you what I think of it. That's really all it amounts to. And when you first get it up and going, there's a period of time, like I said, that, you know, supposedly it needs to learn what your normal activity is, and, you know, it even says in the app, you know, learning or whatever, and it's supposed to just kind of learn what your normal routines are. And I thought that it was going to do this a lot better. You know, there's a feature where, you know, you can tell it, hey, you know, I want it to start cooling off the house, you know, an hour or something before I get home. You know, just start, you know, because it's going to take a while. I live in Arizona, so it takes a little while for it to start cooling down. So start cooling down before I even leave work, and by the time I get off work or whatever, it's going to be cooled down. So that feature was really interesting to me. And then there was the automatic stuff. You know, if I leave the house and I forget to turn the thermostat off or raise it, that it would automatically do that kind of stuff. So let me tell you what my experience has been over countless, you know, amount of times I've tried to play with this. Let me tell you what works and what you can expect and what is complete bogus horseshit. I'm just going to tell you like it is. All of that automatic learning your schedule crap, if that's your main reason for considering a Nest thermostat, don't worry about that, because all of that, as near as I can figure, is mostly bullshit. It's mostly crap. The thermostat never ever did that as expected. And a lot of people, you know, you see a lot of reviews. I've watched a lot of reviews on the Nest, and you hear guys say, well, I have an abnormal schedule, I come and go at odd times, blah blah blah. You know, and that makes sense. Maybe that made sense to them when they said it, you know. But for me, that's definitely 100% not the case. I'm the most boring guy when it comes to schedules that you have ever met in your life. I go to work at the exact same time, on the exact same days. I come home at the exact same time, on the exact same days. I couldn't have a more routine schedule than anybody. I mean, this just doesn't get any more routine than what I do. So that's not the case. The thermostat failed to learn anything, to do anything correctly. It would get it right, you know, maybe 2 or 3 days in a row. You're like, all right, finally, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Then the very next day it would fail to do it for whatever reason. And I thought it was going to use the GPS on our phones. You know, the app has this feature that you can turn on that helps the thermostat know where you are, if you're, if you're home or not. But that's all it is. That just helps it know if you're home or not. Not to know that you're heading this, towards home or almost home or any of that stuff. None of that stuff is what it does. So then I was like, well, let me help it out, because there's a feature where you can add some turn-on points in the scheduling. You can tell it to turn the thermostat to certain temperatures at certain times on certain days. So I was like, let me try that. Let me play with that a little bit. So I did. I played with that a little bit. Set my thermostat points and all that stuff, and just bold-faced ignored it. Just bold-faced ignored it. Bold-faced ignored it. And then again, like I said earlier, it would get it right for a day or two, or off and on, and you're like, oh well, maybe it's gonna work. No, it never does do that. You can give up on that. It just doesn't work. You can set it to manual mode to where it doesn't do the automatic stuff at all, and then you can set, and it just use it like a regular programmable thermostat. But the problem with that is that the automatic feature, to where if you forget to turn your thermostat off or down or that kind of thing, doesn't work either. So basically, the automation, the fully automation part of the claim, I didn't find to work very well at all, if at all, or almost never. So there you have it on that. Very disappointing in that area. It does have features that are really worthwhile, though. The ability to set your thermostat, see what it's doing, the reports that it does to see how you're saving money. All of that stuff is really useful. I don't know if programmable Wi-Fi thermostats do that. I don't know. I've never had one. But I find that to be its most useful feature for me. The ability to just use the app on my phone and set the thermostat while I'm not at home. That's a really useful feature for me. So I use that a lot. The automatic feature for when I leave my house, and it's supposed to set the temperature to the highest temperature that you will allow, or the lowest temperature that you will allow while you're not at home, to save money. All of that stuff works. All of that works exactly as it's supposed to. And then I have an alarm system, by the way, Simply Safe. If you look on my channel, you'll see the review for that as well. But it turns out that Simply Safe now has a feature to tie it into your Nest thermostat. So I did that. I was like, oh, okay. I'll do that. Check that out. So I did. I set it up, put the code in or whatever. And basically everything that I had the thermostat set to do, that I kind of iffy sometimes would work or whatever, all of that now completely does not work. It does not get any, as near as I can tell, it gets no information for your phone anymore at all. It gets, hold on, let me change lanes here, guys. I'm doing a shoulder check and I'm in a van, so that's ridiculous. But so none of the semi-iffy programmable stuff works anymore at all. But what does work, which makes having it tied to your alarm system worthwhile, what it does do is it knows for a fact when I'm there and when I'm not there. That's all of that works amazingly well now that it's tied to the alarm system. Because the alarm system has all that automated information as well. So when I turn my alarm on when I leave the house, the thermostat instantly, or almost instantly, reacts to that. When I come home in the afternoon, or whenever I come home, and I disable my alarm, the thermostat reacts to that immediately. There's no waiting around or anything like that. So one of the bad things about the thermostat is when you would come home and it's super hot outside, it would take it a good 10 minutes or so before it would react to you arriving at home. And that's kind of sucks when you live in Arizona like I do. I mean, that's not something you want to be going on. You want that thing to start cooling down immediately. But with the alarm system tied into it, it does react instantly. It reacts immediately to the home and away stuff. So bottom line is, here's what the bottom line is, guys, if you're thinking about a thermostat like this. If you have a home that's an older home that does not have that fourth wire for power, and if you're looking into these thermostats and you're researching them, you probably know what I'm talking about. Programmable thermostats almost always require that fourth wire for power. Most thermostats only have 3 wires to control it. And there's a 4th wire for power. If that's easily for you to hook up, it's not a big deal for you to hook that up in your situation, or you already have that 4th wire wired to power because you have a newer house, then you have any choice you want. You can just go with a regular programmable thermostat and save, money if you wanted to. If you don't have that 4th wire and it would be difficult for you to wire it up, your only other choice then is to use a power supply plugged into a nearby wall outlet. And if that's feasible, that also solves your problem. The only other option is the Nest thermostat. Somehow or another, by voodoo, for all I know, the Nest thermostat does not require that 4th power. It gets its power from some other source. It has a battery in it, for one thing, and charges that battery all the time, at a very low power off one of the other wires. So it doesn't require that 4th wire, which makes it marketably better or easier to install. The installation on the Nest is amazing. I mean, it's really easy. I mean, they really laid it out. Super easy. But I gave it to you guys straight. The reports are cool. The watching you save money from your old therm, all that stuff is cool. The app works perfect on Android and iOS because I have both. So I can tell you that the app for both of them works amazing. No problems there. It's very expensive though. It's a $250 device. So you either just have to have that kind of money and don't care about the features that I told you that really don't work. Maybe someday with a firmware update they will work. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath. But it is a useful device. It's very well made. I've had no problems with it at all, other than the what I outlined here. So I mean, I guess I can't like say I recommend it, because one of the biggest main features of the device is just, I mean, seriously, when it's all said and done, it's bullshit. So yeah, so I don't know. I'm really on the fence of whether or not I can recommend it or not. I guess you just have to decide that for yourself. I really wanted an automated thermostat. That's something that I really wanted. I had to buy a new thermostat anyway. It's not like I replaced a good one. I mean, that I just woke up one day and said I'm replacing my thermostat when the one I had worked fine. My thermostat went bad, so I was replacing it anyway. So for me, it was worth it. I don't regret the purchase. I could have taken it back. I didn't. So I kept it. I plan to keep it. But is the Nest thermostat for everybody? No. It's definitely, I definitely can say with confidence that it's not for everybody. you have to have a specific need and some cash that you just don't care about, basically, is what it boils down to. But it looks really badass. I mean, it's a really, I mean, everybody that comes into my house goes, what is that, you know? I mean, it really, I mean, it's funny to say we're talking about a thermostat, but it's true. I mean, it does catch your eye. People do wonder what the hell it is when they see it. It is a conversation starter. But when it boils down to whether or not it works, it works. It works. I'd say 75% of the thermostat works, and that airwave feature where every time the air conditioner shuts off, the fan stays on, you know, because the coils are still cold. That is an amazing feature. I don't know why that hasn't been thought of before, because that really does help save money. That also, I mean, without that feature, you're just wasting money. So that's worthwhile. I have to mention that. I'm glad I remembered that at the end. But if you have any questions, comments, anything specific that I didn't go over in any of my videos or whatever, feel free to ask me. I think I can answer them, or, you know, maybe figure it out or play with it to answer your question or whatever. So with that said, everybody, have a good one. Thank you for watching my video. And, you know, like, comment, subscribe like always. And you guys have a good one out there. Catch you on the next one for whatever it is that I'm doing, whenever it is that I'm doing it. Talk at you later. On that end.